Hi guys, here's Yi. In today's video, I'm going to make Guilin Mifen. It's a kind of cold rice noodle from Guilin, Guangxi province of China. It also appeared in Trevor the Food Ranger's Guilin video. So like many other noodle, the secret is in its rich and flavorful sauce made from pigtail. And hopefully you'll enjoy today's video. To make our noodle sauce, we will need 500 grams of pig bones. Here I'm using pigtail. You can also use any other parts. Here are some of the spices we will need. 1 teaspoon of Sichuan chili peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of fennel seeds, 1 large dried ginger, 3 star anise, 2 cinnamon sticks, and 5 bay leaves. 4 slices of fresh ginger and 2 whole spring onion. 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Pour our vegetable oil into a medium-sized pot. Then turn our stove to medium-low heat. Adding all our spices first. We're going to saute them to release the aroma. Once they are cooked, we can add in our pig bones. Then we can pour in enough of cold water to cover all the ingredients. Here I'm using about 2 liters. Then turn our stove to high heat. Then bring it to boil. While cooking, we can use a spoon to remove the foam on the surface. Once it starts boiling, we can turn the heat to low and cover it with the lid and continue cooking for at least an hour. Here I'm using 500 grams of beef rib and soak it in cold water to clean up the blood. Here are some of the ingredients we will need to braise our beef. We will need 3 dried chilies, 30 grams of fermented beans, 30 grams of rock sugar, and 3 pieces of fermented tofu. So after an hour, we can have a look at our stock. You can see a thin layer of pig fat in the stock. We're going to use it to braise our beef. So adding all our ingredients into the stock, as well as our fermented tofu. We're also going to need 3 tablespoons of dark soy sauce to give our beef a nice brown color. Trying to submerge our beef into the sauce. Adding 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, which is optional, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can also add in a bit more salt later. Then close the lid. Keep our stove on low heat and cooking our beef for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we can take our beef out. And adding some of our hard-boiled eggs. And close the lid and continue cooking on low heat for about an hour. So here is our braised beef rib. Adding about 1 to 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil into our pan. Turn our stove to medium-low heat. And we're going to fry our beef rib on both sides to seal the meat. Once one side is cooked, we can flip it over. After frying, you can see here is our beef rib. It has a dark brown color on the surface and very juicy inside. Once it's cooled, we can cut our beef to thin slices. And cut our braised hard-boiled egg in half. These are two of our toppings for our noodle. Let's make some other toppings. Here I'm using some peanuts with skin. Pour in about 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. And coat our peanuts with a thin layer of vegetable oil. And put it in the microwave on high heat for about 2 minutes, then it's done. Here is some of our pickled mustard. You can get this in Asian supermarket. Cut the mustard to thin strips. Then we're going to stir fry them with a bit of vegetable oil into the wok. Adding 1 dry chili, break it in half. Saute our dry chili first, then adding all our pickled mustard. Saute them to release aroma, then adding half teaspoon of sugar. Our pickled mustard contains lots of salt already, so we don't need any other salt. Here we have our stir-fried pickled mustard. Minced garlic and coriander as some of our toppings. Now let's cook our rice noodle. Here I'm using Guilin rice noodle. You can see there are like these hard and dry noodles. Soak them in cold water for at least an hour. Adding enough water in our wok, turn our stove onto high heat. After an hour, our noodle becoming really soft. Once water starts simmering, we can add in our rice noodle and cook them for about 10 minutes. You can see the noodle contains lots of starch. Once they are cooked, we can transfer them into cold water and rinse them a couple of times. Now our noodles are ready. So here are all the ingredients we will need for our rice noodle. Here we have our braised beef and eggs, or our toppings, and our noodle sauce. Now let's assemble everything together. Adding about 4 tablespoons of our noodle sauce. Then our braised eggs. Beef and the pickled mustard, coriander and garlic, our fried peanuts, and don't forget our chili sauce at the end. Here you have it, an authentic Guilin rice noodle. So before serving, let's just stir everything together. Mix the sauce with all the ingredients. Then guten Appetit! Did you subscribe yet? If not, click here, click here, click here. Every day watch new videos at 6 p.m. Here are my 2 recommended videos. Thanks for watching. See ya! 谢谢大家。